Hey guys, a really important video about how to maximize and make sure you're getting the key results out of weight training. Now, too often we see guys who say they've weightlifted in the past, say they've played. Okay guys, it's Chris here, and this is a really important video on how to make sure you're maximizing and getting the most results possible out of weight training. And there's three key stages to this. And what we're going to ultimately be talking about is how the weight moves within your body or on your body. Now, too often we see guys saying they've weight trained in the past and they didn't see results, or they didn't get the results quick enough. And most likely it would be because these three key things weren't in place to the correct level of intensity. Now, what we need to understand is that your body doesn't actually recognize a specific exercise. It only recognizes the stimulus that you are applying to it. So by this, I mean, just by saying you do a chest press doesn't mean that your body's going to trigger a response because you're doing that move. You have to really make sure that your technique is bang on, absolutely spot on. Otherwise, you won't get the stimulus that you're looking for, and you won't get the aesthetic response that you truly want. And again, this comes to when we hear guys say they lifted weights, but they didn't really see much change, then it's because the three variables weren't in place. So the first one is the eccentric phase of a muscle contraction. So this is where the muscle is lengthening and is under contraction at the same time. So this will become a lot more clearer, don't worry. The second phase is the concentric phase, where the muscle is shortening and contracting at the same time. So remember, it's not enough to just say, I do XY exercise. You have to do that exercise correctly. And if you're doing these three things correctly, you will get the result. The third phase is the isometric phase, which is where the muscle is contracting with no movement. So it's not shortening, it's not lengthening, but it's contracting. So what does this look like in real world times? So let's take this really simple exercise like a bicep curl to demonstrate. So you see the guy on the left, he's got the barbell, he's holding it down by his waist. So he's come down and the muscle has lengthened and contracted to allow that to happen. So that would be the eccentric phase. Now, as he's holding it at the bottom, he's still keeping a contraction, but he's not moving the weight anywhere, which is the isometric phase. Now, a big thing that we really want to emphasize here is that most guys miss out on these levels of intensity and levels of stimulus because they just concentrate on getting the weight from A to B. There's no thought about tension. It's just move it as fast as I can, come down as far as I can. Whatever makes it easy will get me and gets it done fastest is what I'm happy with. But that is not the way to weight train. You have to be mindful of that muscle working through its full range. So in terms of the bicep curl again, as he lifts it back up, like shown on the picture on the right, we've gone into that concentric phase where the muscle has shortened and contracted at the same time. That's the concentric phase. So unless these three phases are in place, then you aren't going to get any stimulus through the muscle. Yeah, so like I said, it's not about just moving it from A to B. How much tension are we really focusing on? So let's say we look at the chest press, similar example. So as the guy on the left has brought the dumbbells down, we can see that the pec major, if you look at the image on the top, and the deltoid and the pec minor, which is the on the right there, those are the three main exercises that three main muscles, that are really going to be working hard on a chest press. So as he's coming down into the eccentric phase. So it's lengthening. The pec major, the deltoid, the pec minor are all lengthening, but there's still tension there. He's not just dropped them down. Yeah. Now he's holding it at the bottom with tension. So he's in an isometric contraction. And as he pushes it back up, he's gone into that muscle shortening and contracting phase, which is the concentric phase. So all these three phases have to be in place. Yeah, too often, certainly from being in gyms for the last 20 years, you see guys come in, they're doing arm day or chest day, and the standard of lifting is abysmal. But they would obviously leave that gym and say, I did a chest workout today, but my chest doesn't really look any different from doing it. It's because it's not the exercise that you're doing, but the concentration on the technique that is most important. So what I want to come out of this now and show you this in video format. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to reshare my screen, and I'm going to go to here and get up a video of Handsome Rob and Handsome Chris doing this exact move. So the chest press, we're going to see now in action the eccentric phase of the move. Yeah, so while I'm at the top here, you could even argue I'm in an isometric phase. As I start to lengthen the muscle and come down, I've gone into an eccentric phase, I've held it at the bottom, isometric phase, and I've pushed back up into a concentric phase. Always looking for tension. That's the most important message out of this. Always looking for tension. So guys, I hope that helps, and I hope that makes you think a bit more about how you're lifting at the moment. Are you getting the most out of it, or are you just focusing on getting it done? Yeah. So let me know if that's helpful. If you have any questions, send me a message and I'll be happy to answer them.